On this episode, we're going to be replacing that thermostat housing gasket yet again. It's leaking again. That was just a standard off-the-shelf gasket from a local parts store. I bought a better gasket over here. I got it on the workbench. It's a silicone gasket. It's thicker. It's what all the Mopar guys seem to swear by if we're taking care of this pretty common problem leak on a thermostat housing that these small block Mopars have. So we'll try it out and see how we like it. We also found a couple wires that are just kind of hanging out in the engine compartment. I don't like having wires just hanging out. So we're going to get rid of those real quick too while we're at it. So stay tuned. I think it's going to be a fun episode. So guys, this is the gasket that I bought. Give you that so that you can take a peek at it if you want to order one. There it is, still in the package. It's a little thicker, silicone. We'll try it out and see how we like it. Also show you what's going on over here. You see a little moisture down in there. And some moisture. It's hard to see, a little shadowy in there. Some moisture in there on a thermostat housing. And when you get this thing running, it becomes quite a bit of moisture. We're inside today because the weather is changing here in the Poconos, and I think the high today is supposed to be about 34. So we'll pull these wires out. I thought they were originally for the CB. That one came right out. Let's see what I can get. Get up here with this other one. So it looks like it's coming out. Yep. These were for the CB. They ran up to the corner. I noticed them when I was doing the interior. I knew they weren't hot. So I checked them out. I left them in there because I wasn't sure where they went. They went to the fuse box or whatever. So there's a few no-nos on this, guys, when you're doing wiring. Whoever put these in just ran them through holes in the fender. No grommets, not even like adding extra tape or anything. There's a little bit of chafing that was starting, but who knows how long they've been in there. Generally, I will not put wires in like that and leave them because they do have a tendency to chafe. And when they do that, that causes all kinds of problems. Turn the camera there a little bit for you guys. Hopefully you guys continue to hear me. I've had a few issues with the mics. The previous mic needed a charge, so it's over on the charger. I'm now using my other mic. I've never actually used this one before. So with my equipment, my microphones were a 2-pack that I had picked up on Temu for $5. Is, only the best and highest quality equipment for me. I kind of do these things just to let friends and family see what I'm up to. Everybody always wants to know, what's going on with this car? What's going on with this truck? So I started doing this just so that people would stop asking me that question. Yeah, that gasket's all wet. I've never used these hose clamp locking pliers before, but I know a few other YouTubers swear by them. So when I did this gasket the last time I used them, and they seem to work really, really well. So guys, let's take a look. You can probably see that I have a swamp down there. That was a big fail. All right, guys. So we're back for round 3. On this thermostat, this is the gasket I put in that a lot of people swear by. Some of the things I didn't like about it. One, you see how much play there is in that thermostat. The factory one, it sits up under the edge, kind of like that, all the way around, and holds it into the housing. So if you look at the housing, that's the housing I just took off. It sits in like that. When I put this gasket on, you guys can see that the holes don't even come close to lining up. So if I center it on here, it's sitting in, you can pull the thermostat right out. And as soon as you start to tighten it, it wants to walk over this edge, which is what it did. So when I took it off, it was actually pushed out kind of like that, causing a leak. Kind of, because it squishes it like this, and you line up the holes. So that didn't work real well. So what I bought this time for round 3 is this Dorman kit. The Dorman kit will give you a new thermostat housing in case there's anything warped on that one, and the actual Mopar style gasket. So the first gasket I did was more of a universal. It will fit between General Motors and Mopar, and it comes down shaped more like this. We can see, and when I line that up, look how far off that hole is. So to push it over, it squeezes it. And the way this one will go on is you have to put a little bit of RTV on here. You can see you've got a couple dimples in there to keep you from squishing it too much. Then you put this cone down. Into there. And you set this on. You see the holes line up. Everything's lined up the way it should be. You drop it into place. You torque it down, and then it should hold. All right, guys, as you can see, there's no antifreeze down there by the thermostat housing. On either side, it's nice and dry. You might have seen a little antifreeze burning off from where it blew it all over the engine before. So got a little bit there, back on that valve cover in that area. But when it comes to actually up here around the thermostat housing, we're nice and dry. Blew it off with some air, getting the excess off. Got it up to temperature, and then took it out and drove it, I don't know, about 3 miles, 4 miles, just a little test drive. And don't seem to be having a leak. So it looks like third time was a charm. And again, not that guy. That's a preview of what is to come. Workbench is a bit of a mess. I ended up getting this. It's a Dorman kit that contains a new one of these, thermostat housing, and the Mopar style gasket. And that did the trick. It was $7 from my local Napa, and it took them 1 day to get it in. So it wasn't a big deal. Like I say, $7. RTV on both sides of the gasket is what I found in an old Chrysler training video for changing them. So I would recommend a little bit of that. And put that new thermostat housing on, because that is a stamped steel thermostat housing. Those things are known to warp and that kind of thing. And like I say, it was $7. So well worth the price, and the issue is fixed. So we can get back to making this my daily driver.